Hello, and welcome to the October 2020 Predictions Pick a Card Tarot reading. I've got three piles here, and I want you to look at each pile and to think about which pile you are the most drawn to. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, and make your selection. Once you selected the pile that you want, go to the description or the comments below, and you will see the timestamp for your pile. Enjoy! Welcome back, pile number one. I'm going to go ahead and set aside your oracle cards and your agreement card and pull your October 2020 predictions. So there's going to be 8 cards in this reading, and it's going to talk about what you could potentially expect from October. And again, this prediction is not set in stone at any given point. Things can change. You can make different decisions. Of course, you have free will, and you are the master of your own fate. So don't let this reading get you down, and don't let it get you too excited. Either way, just keep that in mind. This is just meant to be a little bit of intuitive wisdom to share about what you can expect in October 2020. Let's get into it. So I'm going to flip your first 2 cards here, and you have the Three of Cups and the King of Wands. Let me just show you these 2 cards close up. So really, the Three of Cups, I'm seeing a lot of celebration, a bringing of people together, and just, reuniting. And it probably feels really good. And then I have the King of Wands right next to it, and it looks like you're going to take a leadership role in bringing these folks together. So this card could represent your family, your friends, work, colleagues, community. It could represent any group of people, and perhaps you're not usually the person to bring folks together. Perhaps you usually play a different role within that group, but in this instance, in October, it looks like you will be the one to bring folks together. I'm going to go ahead and flip your next 2 cards. So you have 6 of Swords in reverse and 10 of Cups in reverse. So 6 of Swords in reverse really speaks to issues with travel, with moving, from getting from place to place, perhaps feeling like you're stuck in one place and you can't move around the way that you'd like to. And so really, in order for this celebration to happen, you should really focus on overcoming those challenges. Be creative, be innovative. There's so many different ways to stay connected, even if you don't travel. There's Zoom calls, there's phone calls, there's group texts, group chats, all kinds of social media, snaps and giggles and all kinds of things. And this also reminds me of a movie called Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. There was a group of 4 girls who had to spend their summers in different places, and one of the ways that they stayed connected was by sharing a pair of jeans and mailing it to each other, along with a letter that said something like what happened while they were wearing the jeans or something like that. And I think that's what's coming to mind when I think about being creative, when I think about making it work. It seems like folks need a reason to celebrate, and you're the one to do it in October. I'm also seeing the 10 of Cups in reverse, which usually indicates that there's some tensions or there's some stress between this group of people, and that things, might not be going so well at home, or there's some kind of tension in a relationship, or like a sense of feeling empty, right? Especially being disconnected from so many different people. And so one of the things that will really help you in October is leaning into that feeling, actually, to take the role of putting people together, bringing people together. And the way that I would think about this is that it's like turning your poison into medicine. It's leaning into that feeling of maybe feeling the tension or the stress or the emptiness or the loneliness, and just making the decision to not want to be lonely anymore, to not want to get through October or go through October with those kinds of challenges, and instead recognizing what you need to make it through October is you need your people. You need your people, and you need something to celebrate. So you should come up with that. It can be something small. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be like a graduation or, the typical milestones that we think about. Sorry about that. There's an ambulance coming. But the 10 of Cups really speaks to this tension and leaning into what you need, vocalizing it, and getting it. So maybe you're the type that you're usually hoping somebody will reach out to you to check up on you, and that's what you're used to. I think in October you really need to lean out that role, and you need to be the person reaching out to other people. You need to be the person bringing people together, and you need to find something to celebrate. Again, it could just be making it through September 2020 as a reason to celebrate. It could just be the fact that we're all still alive, we're still here. Whatever it is, find a reason. Celebrate your health. Maybe just the fact that you have a friendship or a relationship, or that you're married, or that you love your children. Whatever it is, find something to celebrate, because you're going to need it. So going into your next card, you have the Moon and the Chariot. So the Moon shows that there's going to be some obstacles that come up, and some unforeseen obstacles. So you're not going to be expecting these in October. And that might be all the reason for why you need to find a reason to celebrate and bring people together. I'm also seeing the Chariot here, which indicates that you're about to go on a journey. You're going to go on a ride, and there's going to be bumps in the road. So October is going to be part of your larger journey, and so it's not about the destination. You might have some goals that you're trying to get to, um, and some things that you want to focus on, but really the greatest potential that you're not recognizing right now in this moment for October 2020 is that you're on a journey, and that all of this is one part of that journey to get you where you need to go. And realizing that you're the person who's leading, you're the person with all the magic, you're the person who's manifesting. You have the sight, you have the vision. This can help you. This can help you bring folks together. This can help you navigate what is sure to be a bumpy month. It might not be extraordinarily bumpy, but there are going to be some unexpected things that I think will probably throw you off a bit, but you're still on this ride, and you're still the driving force of it. I'm going to pull your last two cards, which are the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse. So yeah, I'm seeing this Ace of Cups as an expression of disappointment, of things not going well. And it might get bad. It might get bad. There might be some things going on that are not so good. I'm also seeing this Page of Swords and reading it in a similar way, that there's going to be some bad news coming, some kind of issue potentially with your taxes or with your finances, or with a child, maybe a niece, a nephew, or something to that extent. And it's not going to be good. It's going to be challenging, in a challenging month. And I think that's all the more reason why it's important to find that reason to celebrate and to bring people together. And that these additional unforeseen circumstances that come up, these challenges that will likely happen in October, they're just part of the journey. They're not your destination. And you can navigate this. You can get through this. Lean into the things that you need in order to make it. Think about what is it that you need to survive this, to thrive in this, and then create the conditions to get there. Bring people together. If you need a tribe, if you need a community, create the community, bring people together, create that space. You will be the one who needs to take a role in this. For October 2020, you don't need to be in the back seat for your own life. You've got to stay on this front seat. And if you do that, you will navigate this just fine. You will navigate it just fine. So for you, October will be all about stepping up into your own power and taking control, taking the reins of what's happening in October 2020. And again, I just want to emphasize, if you do this, if you step up into that role, I really see that it will be bumpy, but you will survive it. And although it'll have bad news and maybe some bad experiences, you will have balance with goodness and celebration and love and community. So take heed. I'm just going to pull your oracle card here, and you have the Lemur, and it says, tap into your charming and cunning nature. Set out on an adventure that stimulates your senses. Adventure, and I'm seeing this Chariot, and again, tapping into your charming and cunning to bring people together if it's necessary, if there's some, tension over here. And the final card is going to be from the Four Agreements, and it is, do not take anything personally. Be immune to others' opinions. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. All right. So pile number 1, that is your reading for October 2020 predictions. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me know in the comments below. If you have a request for a particular reading, let me know. Please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for joining me. Have an excellent day. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading for your October 2020 predictions. I'm going to go ahead and pull out your Oracle card and your 4 Agreements card, and we're going to jump right into the reading, okay? So I'm pulling 8 cards to talk about October, and these cards will have a little bit of information about what you can expect to happen with October, some advice, and some different areas to focus your attention, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with your first 2 cards. We have the 3 of Wands and the 9 of Cups. So the 3 of Wands really talks about teamwork, expansion, looking out beyond the horizon, looking ahead to what's to come, and being strategic about how to get there. And so you see this person kind of standing there looking out over the lake and kind of contemplating a plan, and you see the little boats there, etc. And there's some resources there, so that's good news. Then you see the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups really talks about being in good health, a sense of abundance, wishes and dreams coming true. So just based on these 2 cards, October 2020 is looking pretty good. There's going to be some strategizing, and those plans and strategizing and teamwork is going to result in some abundance. And so that's a pretty good thing to be thinking about. But these other cards are going to help us to better interpret what will happen in October 2020. So we've got 2 more cards here. And first we have the Magician. The Magician focuses a lot on creativity, turning visions into reality. It's about being really inspired to action. It's about creation. It's about birthing, all of those good things. And so this is directly related to the 3 of Wands. Again, this idea about being strategic and about working with other folks and about looking into the future, where you want to go, setting your sights on it, and then getting there. It's really, really cool. Okay. I'm also seeing with this Queen of Wands that there's a sense of maybe aggression or anger or apathy, perhaps. So one of the things that you might be experiencing in October 2020 is that you might have these hot and cold moments, it looks like. It's like on one hand, you have a plan, you know where to go, you have the resources, you have the tools, you have everything that you need, and you should really be focusing on channeling all of those things into creating steps to that pathway and getting there. But on the other hand, the thing that looks like it's holding you up a little bit is this idea of a certain level of aggression or apathy or anger. And that's something that you'll want to pay attention to. It might be channeling those more aggressive feelings. So sometimes when we talk about masculine and feminine types of energies or feelings or emotions, sometimes they already have negative feelings attached to them or negative emotions. So when you hear aggression and apathy, and maybe anger, those all sound like really bad, but it seems like here this can help you to start creating. So if you're feeling that way, channel it. If you're feeling like, I'm super angry about what's happening in my life right now, or around a particular thing, and I want different. I know how it's supposed to be. I know how it should go. This will work, and you can create that. Leaning into those feelings, I think, will actually help you to bring some action to what you're envisioning. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the next 2 cards you have the Eight of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, so the Eight of Cups in reverse really talks about learning from the past. Okay, it's coming, it's taking note to what's happened in your past and how that can help you in your future. It's about, returning home maybe to something that has been lost to you. So that's really interesting. That's a really interesting notion. Is that one of the things that might be a challenge is that you haven't learned a lesson that you were supposed to have learned in the past, or maybe it's a lesson that you've learned many times and you might need to learn it again. It also shows that, again, there might be someone who's returning into your life that will not necessarily help you, but perhaps hinder you. And so that's really interesting too. And then you have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords really talks about someone being, self-sufficient, resourceful, having everything that they need, being upfront, honest, transparent. And it's so interesting that the Queen of Swords is right underneath this Nine of Cups, because again, this Nine of Cups refers to abundance, good health, your wishes coming true. And it looks like right underneath there you have your Queen of Swords, being self-sufficient, honest, transparent, resourceful. So this really talks about your unrealized potential, is that you have resources already. You have a sense of sufficiency that you can do this on your own. Don't let whoever this person is returning to throw you into a place that you don't need to be for October 2020. Don't allow that to happen, and don't allow old lessons. So whether it's a lesson or a person, something is returning here. Either way, it's going to hinder you. So if it's the lesson, think about your past, think about the lessons that you struggled with, and try to intentionally bring the learnings into October 2020. So what I mean by that is, like, for me, for instance, a lesson that I have to learn a lot over and over and over is not to allow other people's perspectives or opinions to stress me out. I know this all the time, that I should not allow that to happen, and yet sometimes I still allow it to happen, and it doesn't even make sense, because ultimately it never really matters. Not one single time has it ever really mattered and had a greater impact. All it did for me is have me thinking about something over and over and over and giving myself anxiety about it. Knowing that that is a lesson that I have to learn repeatedly, what I mean by taking the learnings from past lessons that you've had to learn over and over is, and applying them to October, is thinking about those lessons when you're being insightful and reflective about your past, about the lessons that you struggle with that keep coming back to you, okay? And maybe you need to write them down, maybe you need to journal them, whatever you got to do. Think about how they apply to your October 2020 and be intentional about it. Anticipate that you will need that lesson, and this is the time to learn and put it into practice and to do it with consistency. So I'm going to flip your last two cards here. Okay, more swords, lots of swords. We have the Three of Swords, and we have the Everything is Fine, okay? So the Three of Swords really represents heartbreak and loss and depression and this sense that things are just not really going well. It's not good. It's not good, and it looks like some part of your October will have heartbreak. It will have some sense of sadness. It could be an issue that's just maybe physically painful. So maybe it's not like a really bad thing, but maybe you're going through like a surgery or something like that. And it might just be necessary to do it, and it might be a little bit scary, but necessary. And, once you do it, it's over, it's in the past, it's behind you. So I am seeing that. So despite some of these troubles, despite these old lessons or old folks returning into your life, and again, there's going to be some challenges, some heartbreak, some sadness, some depression. Your last card is the Ten of Swords. And if you look at this card, I'm going to bring it up because it's kind of graphic in a sense, right? There's 10 swords in this individual, and they are on their phone, and, you know, the title here is Everything is Fine for the 10 of Swords. What that basically means is despite all of these challenges, despite some of the pain that you're going to feel, despite the rockiness of the situation, the pain will eventually end. The dullness will end. The challenge, the heartache, the suffering will end. And in actuality, everything is fine. So yes, things are dark right now. Yes, things are cloudy right now. But everything will be fine. Everything is fine. You will be okay. You'll be okay. So this is your reading for October 2020 predictions. I'm going to go ahead and pull your oracle card here. And you have the magpie shrike. Okay. Very interesting bird. True peace is found in spiritual fulfillment. Get in tune with your divine self to reach your fullest potential. True peace is found in spiritual fulfillment. Get in tune with your divine self to reach your fullest potential. So that is your oracle card. And I think that's really important. Spiritual fulfillment and your divine self, your higher self, your spiritual self is so important. And it looks like there's a place of peace, a place of rest as all of these things are happening, and a place to kind of go to as you are thinking about October. And again, there's so many great things that are happening, and as well as some struggles and some issues. You've got a vision. You're already on a path. Continue to follow that path. You know, continue to expect abundance and great things that come out of that. Use the pain and the feelings and the anger and the apathy that you're feeling to kind of leverage into your creativity process and learn from those lessons that keep coming from the past. And I'm really seeing this as lessons more so than a person, but for some of you, it might be a person. And don't forget, your unrealized potential is that you have all the resources you already need. There's a level of transparency, of honesty, etc., that will help you, even as you're experiencing all this heartbreak, etc. You will be okay. And finally, your agreement card is always do your best. I mean, this just all goes together. Your best is changing all the time. I'm going to say it again because it just seems super relevant. Your best is changing all the time, okay? Always do your best and know that your best is changing all the time. Your best will depend on whether you are refreshed in the morning or tired at night. Your best will be different when you are happy as opposed to upset, or healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So I hope you all really enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like and comment below if this resonated with you, what you liked about it, and if you have any requests for future readings. Also, please consider subscribing. I'd love to see you back again. Thank you so much, and take care. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome back, pile number 3. Today we're going to be doing a reading on October predictions. This card, this pile had a giant rose quartz on it, and I'm actually going to keep it up here for the reading because there's just a feeling that it needs to be there. So I'm going to start off with 8 cards that I pulled for your reading, and then we will go over your 4 agreement card and your oracle card right after. I'm going to go ahead and pull your cards for this reading. And I've not seen them yet, so we're going to look at them together. Okay, we're going to start with the first 2 cards. So you have, coins. So you have the 6 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. I don't know why I'm getting like super particular. Okay, the 6 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. Interesting. So this has a lot to do with kind of the physical things that happen in your life, your physical self, your physical house, your space, your body, etc., the earth. It's what you see in life. It's the tangible. And you have the Six of Pentacles, which really talks about giving or receiving help. It's about generosity. It's about looking out for one another. And then you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is about leaving a legacy, an inheritance. It's about retiring. So this is your context for October 2020, is that it seems to be a lot about giving and a lot about receiving. So let's find out whether you're the giver or the receiver. We're going to flip a couple more cards. Oh, another pentacle card. Okay, I just had to check. Listen, if this was going to be a straight sweep of pentacles, it was going to be a thing. But even having three back to back, this is really interesting, okay? So we have the Seven of Pentacles here, which really indicates patience and, hard work, maybe delayed success, so waiting. So there's some things happening. There's going to be some sense of generosity or help being given. There's going to be potentially a retirement or an investment of some sort, leaving a legacy, like an inheritance, some kind of, generational wealth that's happening. That's either going. Okay, there's a ambulance. Give me 1 second. So again, we're seeing a lot of pentacles here. There's a lot of giving, potentially receiving. We're seeing, some inheritance coming through, or some kind of legacy being built. Like something major is happening in that regard, especially when it comes to money, when it comes to material wealth, abundance. It could be a house, it could be, property, it could be anything. But it also looks like you'll need to focus a lot on being patient for it. So maybe you find out in October that it's coming, and you might be wanting to jump the gun to get things started and get things moving. And it might be much wiser for you to be patient, to allow things to flourish, allow them to happen in their own time, and to allow it to unravel and to take place. I think that's really important. And I think that, you do need to water it a little bit, nurture the situation a little bit, but don't hover, don't be, overly zealous about it. Then you have the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords refers to, some tension, okay? Some tension. It could be a bully, it could be a theft, and if you're thinking about theft and thievery and a potential thief, you've got a lot of things coming in, okay, in October. And you do not want someone coming up in there and stealing it and taking it from you. So I think this might be especially important, especially looking at the positioning of this card. They might be looking at you, you looking at it, right? So this might be one of the reasons why you need to slow down and be patient and allow things to grow and manifest as they need to. The Five of Swords really speaks to issues between people, between relationships, where there might, again, be a bully situation, or a situation where someone is being abusive or unkind or not nice. And this will probably help you to get the patience that you need to in order to, experience all this great abundance and earthly goodness that's coming in. That's a lot of what I'm seeing for you. I'm going to go ahead and pull your next two cards. Ooh, the High Priestess and the Seven of Cups. Okay. So the High Priestess, ooh, excuse me, is really, an indication of your intuition and trusting yourself and not looking too much externally for answers, for how to do things, for advice, etc. And so you really need to trust yourself, and not doing so will actually hinder everything that's happening in October. You need to lean into yourself. You need to be aware of what's happening and how you feel about it, and what your gut is telling you about what the divine is telling you. And for you, the divine could be God, it could be ancestors, it could be the universe, it could be your intuition. Whatever it is, you really need to lean into that and trust yourself, okay? Because if you don't, it's going to hinder, a lot of this success, etc., that will be coming in earthly success, I should say, that will be coming in October. It's still not clear yet if you will be the person giving or receiving in October. And so I'm really curious about that. And so I just want to add, let's flip these last two cards to see if they give additional clarity. And if not, I'll go ahead and pull one more card. Look at all these coins. Look at all these coins. So you have the Queen of Pentacles, and then you have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Just want to give you a look at that. And, okay. So, okay. So before we jump to that, the Seven of Cups represents having a lot of choices and a struggle to make a choice. It represents being indecisive and having so many options, and they all have so many different outcomes. So in October, it looks like one of the things that can help you actually in your unrealized potential is your indecisiveness. It might actually help you in the long run, especially as you're thinking about patience, right, and waiting and watering. It might not be in your best benefit to make immediate decisions, and it might make a lot more sense to spend the time leaning into your intuition, your own feelings, your own thoughts, and just feeling in your body where things are showing up. So that's really interesting. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is about being resourceful, and it's about birthing beautiful things and kind of creating a home and stability, and just that sense of nourishment and nurturing others, etc. And this leads me to believe that you will be the one that will be benefiting from this inheritance of sorts, okay? And that someone is looking out for you. And this person is trying to make sure that you have the things that you need. And so they might be retiring and looking to help you. Things are especially difficult right now. And so there might be some sense of income or wealth. Again, it could be a real estate property or something to that nature that's going to come in for you and make these times a little bit easier. But you'll need to be patient, and you will need to take your time. And somehow this situation will lead you to many different opportunities. So maybe it's that you will have choices when this person presents to you, and it makes a lot of sense to take a pause to figure out what's the right choice. And the right choice seems like it's going to be a lot based on your feeling, your intuition, and maybe not so much logic, not so much what you find on the internet. Does it make more sense to get this or to that? What do other people think is the best thing? You'll need to look into yourself for that. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and that really talks about financial setbacks. It's envy, it's being a workaholic, etc. And so this could go either way. Your October could go either way. You can either nourish the moment and have this really beautiful experience, or you could be envious and jealous, etc. So maybe this inheritance that comes out, maybe it's going to get split between different people, but you will have a choice. And if you make the choice too soon, or if the choice is too logical, it might not work out for you. It might not. I'm seeing that it's likely not going to work out for you. You need to really lean into yourself, into your own feelings, your own decisions, so that you can come out as the Queen of Pentacles for your October 2020. Yep. And I don't know why this big rose quartz is really coming out, but I think it's really important just to say there's an element of needing to love yourself with this rose quartz, of needing to care for yourself, of having respect for yourself. Do not carry yourself into October 2020 with no self-respect. It seems like it needs to be said. Like, maybe some of you who picked pile 3 might be real temperamental and a little bit bratty, a little bit entitled, etc. Have some love for yourself. Have love for the people around you. And just try to be a little bit more caring and just to do things in love instead. Um, so if you know it's one of those things where, you might be used to operating in a very certain kind of way, take a moment to step back away from that, especially for this month of October. I think it will help you to have the most favorable outcomes for October. Don't move forward. Do not move forward too matter of factly. Do not move forward with logic. Do not move forward with impatience. Do not move forward, just choosing all the things and running off of that logic and being rash and quick to make decisions, and then envious of others and jealous of how things work out for others. Really take a pause and really try to steep yourself in love as you make these decisions. It looks like beautiful things are coming to you, but as with all things, beautiful things can turn out to be not so beautiful, right? So we've all known instances where a large sum of money comes in, and that could be a huge blessing, to either pay off houses or go to college, pay off student loans, debts, to be secure just for the next year, to get your kids into daycare or school or whatever. But large sums of money can also be destructive, okay? You can fall into a pattern where it's not enough, it's not good enough, you go through it quickly. You spend it incorrectly, and you're looking at others who have gotten the same kind of blessing and they were a lot smarter about it, or they used it differently. It just seems like for this group in particular, beyond just what's showing up here in the cards, take a moment to pause and love yourself and have some self-respect. Don't value these things, these material goods, all of this wealth here. Do not allow that to be bigger than love. Do not allow that to be bigger than self-respect. Do not feed into this issue of tension and possible abusive relationships and bullying. Come from a place of love. You need to center love in everything you do in October, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pull your oracle card, your agreement card. So your oracle card is Angelfish. Tune in to your surroundings. There are people around you that can help you and could also use your help. And this kind of provides a little clarity, because I was saying I wasn't sure if you were the one receiving or were you the one giving and being generous. And ultimately, it feels a lot like there's going to be a big blessing coming in. Blessing, because it can go either way depending on how you treat it. And it seems like self-respect and self-love have a lot to do with which direction you end up going in October. But this Angelfish card is also telling me that you might be getting a big blessing, but that you also need to return that to others as well. You need to share it with others. And again, nurture this kind of beautiful space that you can create, and that can be the outcome for your October 2020. So that's important. And then your agreement card is don't take anything personally. Love and respect yourself. Don't take anything personally. Love and respect yourself. All right, y'all. It's coming up so many times. You got to be listening. You are never responsible for the actions of others. But you are responsible for you. Where you going to be? Here or there? If someone is not treating you with love and respect, is it a gift? It is a gift if they walk away from you. You may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Okay, so I'm going to read that one more time without interrupting this time. And allow whatever you need to receive to come to you. You are never responsible for the actions of others, but you are responsible for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it's the gift if they walk away from you. You may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. And pile number 3, that is your reading for October 2020 predictions. I hope you really enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, and comment below. Also, let me know, did this resonate with you, or did parts of it resonate with you? Or if you have any requests for future readings, please let me know all down below. And if you really, really enjoyed the reading, please consider subscribing to my page, because there will be lots more readings coming to you soon. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.